Hello, and a very warm welcome to this week's podcast. Now, this week I'm talking to you about the 5 stages that every animal practitioner goes through before they come fully booked. And I'm recording this on the back of having delivered lots of training recently on client attraction. I've had a lot of conversations with people. Oh, I'm really, how do I get going? I've been qualified a little while. I'm not sure my next steps, etc., etc. And I realized that there are these kind of stages that I see people and I have seen people go through over the years. And actually, when you know what these stages are, brilliant. You can navigate through them so much quicker. And I'll be really interested to find out, where do you sit on this? Which stage are you at? So, if you've ever looked at another equine or canine practitioner and thought, what is it they're doing that I'm not? You may well just be not quite sure where you are on this kind of growth ladder, if you like, because there are predictable stages. But if you don't know which stage you're at, you don't know what to do to move you forward. So what I'd love you to do as I walk through these 5 stages is simply ask yourself, where am I at? Like, which stage sounds most like me? And then I'm going to give you, as ever, lots of practical thoughts and ideas to move yourself forward. Because, hey, round here, we don't just want information, we want transformation. And it is what you do with that information that counts. So please, I say this at the beginning of every live training I ever deliver. Do something with this information, because that's where you're going to see a huge difference in your life and business. And that is really, really exciting. So let's kick off. Stage 1, qualified but invisible. So how this tends to look: you have invested so much money, time, energy, blood, sweat, tears, a part of your soul into qualifying. You are super passionate about helping animals. You maybe have a handful of clients. Maybe you're brand new and haven't got a single client yet. Income is inconsistent and you feel frustrated. You're just invisible. People just don't know about you. But yet, you know you've got these skills and you know that you can help people. You just don't know how to find them. And so the things that you might be thinking could be, oh, I just wish people would find me. Like, how do I get people to just know who I am? I don't know what to post. I hate social media. I'm so overwhelmed. I hate marketing. I don't really understand it. This feels really uncomfortable. I don't want to sell myself. You might even be thinking, feeling a bit like shortchanged, like I thought I'd done the hard part in qualifying. Your biggest challenge here is visibility. And that's not because you're bad at marketing or you're rubbish with social media or anything like that. It's simply because you haven't been taught how to run a business and you don't have a client attraction strategy in place. At this point, what you really need is to be developing a rock solid mindset and starting to implement some business strategy. Now, inside the Expert Academy, which is my core coaching program for equine and canine practitioners, this is why the first stage, the first part of the Expert Academy is mindset. Because I can give you 100 things to do to work in your business. I even have a guide of 55 ways to attract clients. Until you are the person that feels able to welcome in the clients, you feel like you are the person who can actually implement the strategy. It doesn't matter what the strategy is. You need to have this rock solid belief in yourself that you are enough, your skills are enough, that people are out there, that people want to pay you money, that you can make this work, all the rest of it, okay? So you want to move from this kind of identity of, I'm brand new, I'm too young. I hear that. I also hear I'm too old. Like, I hear everything. You need to get out of this like identity of why it won't work and start thinking like a business person, like a professional business person, like a boss lady, like a CEO, like a founder, like you're running a startup, whatever words align with you, it doesn't matter. The shift is that you start running your business like a business, okay? Because being qualified doesn't mean that people know about you. You can have every piece of paper, every modality, a million certifications, and you may well still be the world's best kept secret. So you have to be comfortable with being visible and you have to take steps to be visible. So that is stage one. And that may be you, but you may also be stage two. So let me move on to stage two. Stage two, the generalist, the person is trying to help everybody. So how I see this playing out in real life, you're attracting some clients, you get some busy weeks, you get some inquiries, but not really a sustainable amount. Your messaging's a little bit vague, like you might talk about one topic, you might be talking about another one, I don't know, you might be talking about dog treats, you might be talking about shoeing horses, if you treat, both canine and equine, you might be flipping around between laminitis, saddle fit, who knows, okay? And whilst they're all valid topics, it can be confusing for your audience. You'll take any client that comes along and you have this real like up and down kind of feeling. Some days you feel like, yes, I can do this. Other days you'll feel like, oh, is this going to work? So things you might be thinking about was, I know it can help lots of animals. I don't want to limit myself. Surely it's better to try and appeal to everybody. Your biggest challenge at this point is lack of clarity and lack of clear positioning. People don't understand why they should choose you. And I see this all the time when people market solely based on their modality. Now, sometimes we may be given a recommendation for a particular modality, and that may be what we're actively searching for. Great. I'm not saying that how you help animals, like the method that you use, doesn't matter, not at all. When you solely market on that, it makes it almost impossible for me to decide if I want Sarah, who does equine bodywork, or if I want Katie, who also does equine bodywork, or insert whatever modality of your choice. When you position yourself as an expert in X, in something, yeah, when you make it really clear who you're for and who you are not for, it makes, for me, the potential client, it makes the buying decision so much easier. I understand who you are. I understand why I'd want to work with you. I understand also how you deliver these results, but ultimately, I'm looking to solve a problem. Yeah, I'm not just looking for a general experience for me and my animal. I'm looking for something to change. And that is where it's so important to have this key positioning, have a really clear offer, and know who you're for and who you are not for. And this is a big part of the work that we do inside the Expert Academy. It's all, the sort of second part that my clients work through is getting their niche nailed down, getting their positioning really clear, making themselves stand out, because that is so important. So it's all about out of generalist into specialist. Now, it may well be that behind the scenes, like in your actual caseload, you treat everybody from, I don't know, a puppy to retired greyhound to a top level performance horse to a retired Shetland pony and everybody in between. And that is absolutely fine. You can have a real varied client load, but you make your messaging very targeted. And one thing I always teach on this is it's not always as obvious as event horses, agility dogs. Sometimes it is. Sometimes that is your calling. Sometimes it is not. Sometimes it is actually something about the type of owners that you want to work with. Sometimes, I was working through this with one of my clients yesterday, actually on a call. we were talking about performance, and that's what she really specializes in, is improving performance. Now, we might think that's, oh, got to be a show jumper, a hunter jumper, a dressage, or a this or that. She works on the equine side, but actually, she realized that some of her clients, it's not about competing, it's about doing what they and their horse want to do and what they're working on. It's doing it that better through strength, through suppleness, through targeted exercises, through stretching. That is increasing performance. And she realized that actually it's giving people a real individualized plan for their animal's performance is what she's selling, not just performance for like elite level competition animals. So interesting stuff. It may well be for you that it's something about the type of owners more than like an obvious niche, like a discipline, for example. Okay, so then maybe that is you. Generalize. The other thing I see in this generalized stage is people pleasing. You feel terrified to turn anybody down, even if you've got every red flag coming at you that they're not going to be a good client. You feel scared. You're also probably in a bit of a lack mentality, and you're just, oh, okay, I'll just fit them in. So that is also something to look at. And you can see why the mindset is important at every level. Okay, let's go. Stage 3, busy, but unpredictable. Okay. So your business, you can't predict how it's going to be. It's up, it's down, it's feast, it's famines. 1 month you were like, this is it. 1 month you're like, oh my gosh, this is horrendous. I'm going to have to go and get a job. Okay. Things are random. You might get loads of referrals and then nothing. Social media, some days you feel like you're talking to yourself. Sometimes you're like, yes, this is really working. And of course, as I mentioned, your income is likely to be really up and down. Things you might be thinking, where the heck are my next clients coming from? It all feels a bit hit and miss. Do I know what I'm doing? Challenge here is you don't have a client attraction system. You're relying on luck more than strategy. And that may well feel familiar. And a lot of people in this stage, like, don't get me wrong, referrals are golden for your business, whether that is through a vet, whether that's through an allied professional like a coach or a trainer, behaviorist, dog walker, whoever else that could be, whether it's through your existing clients raving about your services. Brilliant. Referrals are amazing. However, there's a caveat. When you solely rely on just referrals and you have no other client attraction system in place, you don't control that. Now, you can put steps in place to ensure that referrals do become relatively predictable, but ultimately, if I'm your client and you are hoping that I'm going to refer you to one of my friends, or one of my friends to you, whichever way around, you're relying on me remembering, having a conversation with my friend or sending them your details. Then you're also relying on then my friend reaching out to you and you getting the ball rolling. Like, it's so out of your hands, which is why it gives you random results. And this is why a huge part of the work that I teach is all about is all about client attraction, because you need to be covering these 4 key pillars. Social media. Now, for some of you, social media will be how you get clients. For some of you, your social media strategy will be about having an active presence. And when I say active, it may be 1-2 posts a week, because you have these other pillars really dialed in, and it's simply a case that people bounce and check you out online, which is why your socials need to be up to date more than a huge big pillar. So it's, when you employ this strategy, you get to test and tweak, and it's something I help my clients with a lot, to see what is your unique formula. We give you the strategy, you create your own formula. So social media is going to be part of it. Vet referrals, strategic partnerships, referrals from clients, and expert positioning. Because if word of mouth is your only way of getting clients, that is not a business model. that it's going to be random and it feels like there's a lot of luck involved. So client attraction, you need a clear strategy in place here. So are you stage number 3? Who knows? I'd love you to tell me though. I really, really would. I'd love you to reach out and let me know. You can ping us a message on social. You can reach us on email via the website. But we'd love to know, which stage are you? Okay, stage 4. Fully booked, but close to burnout, overworked, doing lots and lots of things at this stage. So your schedule may well be full, income looking much, much better. You're really busy. You also feel really overwhelmed and you are chasing your tail. Things you might be thinking about, oh my gosh, I don't have enough hours. I'm so tired. Everything depends on me. Oh, I've got so many clients, like I don't want to upset them if I put my prices up. It's all on me. There's a lot of pressure at somebody on this stage. And this is not, like in some ways, this is, you'd think this is a good stage to be at. In other ways, this is not a happy place to be. And I think the issue in the industry is that this is how success is marketed. If you're an animal therapist, it's like, well, this is the holy grail that you're going to reach, and you should be happy when you get there. In reality, you can have a really great caseload. You can have the income that you want, but you don't also have to feel exhausted, overwhelmed, nudging burnout, chasing your tail. So I think it's so important to say that this fully booked stage is an aspiration, but it shouldn't look like this, okay? And this is a huge thing that I help people with, is how to, one, become fully booked, and then when you are fully booked, how to actually enjoy that, how to expand your nervous system, expand your capacity, expand your mindset, put in systems in place, have stronger boundaries, so, and have other ways of having money coming into your life and business so that you can enjoy this stage. Biggest challenges here is time and money management, okay? And this is why understanding how you feel about money and changing your relationship with time are really, really important. The other thing that's also important here is to build a business around the life that you actually want to lead. Your dream life may look like working, I don't know, afternoons, for example. And to equal your dream life, it may be that you work high ticket. It may be that you don't just have this kind of core, like time for money swap, one horse, one dog kind of business model. It may be that you work in a one-to-many setting. It may be that you have a high ticket offering. It may be that you have some online ways of working with people. Ultimately, it doesn't matter ultimately how you do it. The point is that you have thought about how you want your life to be, and you have built the business around that. So you would have money coming in from multiple income streams. You would have flexibility over your life, and you would have freedom, okay? Because so often practitioners build themselves a job, not a business. And if you think about, why did you want to set up your own business? You could have taken, an employed role as an animal therapist. Why did you want your own business? I'm pretty sure it was down to wanting impact, wanting flexibility, wanting freedom, wanting to pick your own hours. You could ride your horse, walk your dog, Amazing. Exactly the reason that I wanted to have my own business, time and location freedom. But you need to stay true to that dream and not be kind of sucked into somebody else's vision of success. And this is where systems are so important. Systems, automations, delegating, shortcuts, everything like that enables you to take back some time. So stage 4, it's a place that I often help people with. And that's where my mastermind programs, my one-to-one coaching are really powerful, so that you can be unlocked and unblocked. And inside the Expert Academy, we really help people at the earlier stages to avoid this level so that you can become as fully booked as you wish and still have a life. Or you may never wish to be maxed out full, but you have simply other ways of creating the income that you wish. Okay. And then we've got our final stage, my favorite stage, the stage I love, love, love supporting people to get to, stage 5, being the CEO and being the trusted expert, like being the go-to. It basically all works at this stage. Income's predictable, systems, you've got a great reputation, you're getting a constant flow of inquiries. You love your pricing. You're never like doing what I call random discounting, knocking 10 quid off here or $20 off here. You have plans in place. You're really good at planning in this stage. Your growth is strategic. Your actions are strategic. You're not carrying it all. This is the stage. You can breathe and it feels so much nicer. And you know what? You don't have to go through all those other stages to get to stage 5. You can take action aligned with just becoming stage 5 from the get-go. There is no need to put yourself through the trauma of all these other stages. You can get to stage 5 in a much easier way than the other stages I've mapped out. But when I really reflect on how, where I see people in their business journeys, those other 4 stages really, really ring true. So at this stage, you may be thinking more about future proofing, about like, I love the business. Like, how can I make it even better? And this is something that I'm always doing with my business. Love it. Love all the things we've got. What can we do so they're even better? Spoiler, we've got something really cool coming out this summer, which definitely does that. So your challenge here, it's continued growth. It's looking after yourself. It's future-proofing the business. And this is why we have a big section in the Expert Academy all about future-proofing, so that whether you're an established practitioner or whether you are brand new in business, you know what it looks like to have future-proofed your practice. And you can do that earlier on. It's the planning, it's the systems, looking after yourself, leading your business, things like the weekly meeting, things like looking at how you can improve the client journey, how you can improve inquiry to a dream client, all those bits and pieces. It's so, so important, because otherwise you get stuck at stage 4. And that would never be my wish for you at all, because it's not just filling your diary, filling your schedules. The goal should never just be to become fully booked. It's actually about creating a business that is going to support you for years. Something I say to all my clients all the time is, you need to think about what serves you now and what will serve you in the future. And this is where not just putting like a band-aid over something, but actually going, okay, do you know what? Like systems, for example, picking something that serves you now, but also gives you space to grow into is so important. So here's what I really would love you to remember. Most practitioners think, I just need more clients. But actually, what they need is a solution for the stage they're currently at. Because stage 1 is not about more marketing. Stage 2 is not about just having more qualifications. Stage 3 doesn't need hope. Stage 4, you don't actually need 10 more hours in the day. And stage 5 is not about stopping growing. The question is, I really want to leave you with, is where am I right now, and what is my one next thing that I can do to move myself and my business forward? Now, I really, really hope this episode has helped you identify your current stage. I would love you to drop me a message on Instagram with the word stage and tell me what stage you're at. And I will reply to you and give you some thoughts. It may well be that we can also get you onto one of our personalized strategy calls and spend 30 minutes making a plan for your business, okay? Because my greatest wish is that you don't get stuck. My greatest wish for you is that you get to have a business that supports you and allows you to fulfill your mission to support as many animals as you feel called for. So that's all from me. 5 stages that I see every animal practitioner going through. We'd love to know what stage you're at. Thank you so much for listening. Pop me a message on Instagram. You'll find the link below with the word stage, Tell us which stage you're at, and we'll shoot back some practical ideas for you. So that's all from me. I'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.